All right, thanks for listening to Channel MMA. This is my thoughts, my pre-fight analysis, my pre-fight picks for UFC 226 Curtis Millender versus Max Griffin. This is a striker versus striker battle. I typically like the striker versus striker battles. Neither of these guys are big on taking it to the ground. They're really fast. Curtis Millender, we just have to put him in a different speed category. He's incredibly quick. He goes from not moving at all, literally not moving at all, just kind of there in your face, to missing in action. Like, he literally almost just disappears. He'll be slipping your punches. He'll be just the slightest bit of foot movement to find an angle and then counter you. Or he really is an all around really great fighter. Watching him fight it really is. He has, it's like poetry. He has a nice poetic move, and he's a finisher. He's a big time finisher. Looks like the UFC is pumped about getting this signing. His last fight was his first fight in the UFC. So he's 30 years old, but he's had quite the career. He's fought with Bellator, he's fought with LFA, and now he's finally getting here to the big show, UFC, and he's getting Max Griffin. Max Griffin is coming off that win against Mike Perry. It was an interesting win. And Max Griffin kind of does the same thing. He does a lot of foot movement. He's also a striker, but there is something less dangerous about his game. He is an evasive fighter. He's not a defensive fighter necessarily. Like Curtis Millender he's defensive. Like, when he turns his offense on, it's on level 10. When he turns his defense on, it's on level 10. Because he's still standing there in front of you, and then it's just the slightest leg movement, and he's checked your kick or something like that. The slightest head movement, he slipped a punch. He really is a great fighter, and I'm pumped about this signing as well, just like the UFC. So I'm putting all of my chips. I'm shipping all my chips. I'm putting them on. Gosh, the chip analogy isn't really working. What I will say is, I'm all in with Millender. I'm all in with Curtis Millender. He is in the welterweight division. It's not that it's a stacked division. It's a tough division, but it is a division that you can kind of work through pretty quickly, because he can pick out a lot of those names that aren't really, they're just kind of up there. Think about it. If he fights Mike Perry, and then he fights Donald Cerrone, and then he fights, you know what I mean? It's just, you can really pick, and then he fights Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, and then he's there. So it's really a really, really great signing by the UFC. This guy is incredibly talented, and I got him at a stoppage period. I think that he's going to, he is a patient fighter, so I'm not going to give him first round stoppage, since Max Holloway is not Max Holloway. Max Griffin is just such an evasive fighter. His footwork is definitely on 10 as well, and it's footwork not for the sake of defense. It's literally just footwork for the sake of footwork. He's just always moving around. He's always intelligently moving around. But so Curtis Millender, second round stoppage, knockout, second round KO. All right. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys, who you guys think is going to win this fight. Is it going to be Curtis? Is it going to be Max Griffin? Who's moving up next? Let me know if you guys want to see a what's next for one of these fighters. Yeah, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button.